Thank you for joining us. I'm your host, Molly, and for this episode, we're joined by Toko. We're sitting down with her to get to know a bit more about their learning journey and their relationship with Academy Wales. Thank you so much for joining us. So to begin, do you recall when and how you first heard of Academy Wales?
Yes, I do. So it was when I had engaged in some mentoring sessions with a lovely coach by the name of Mel Barker, who works for Cwmtaf Health Board, and she signposted me to the Springboard course, which I went onto the website, to Academy Wales website. That wasn't running, but I came across another totally interesting course altogether, which I ended up engaging in.
Can you share with us which Academy Wales programmes you've attended and what attracted you to those programmes?
So initially I did the imposter syndrome, which I think the main speaker of the day, if I recall correctly, was Tara Halliday. Mm-hmm. And she was a fantastic speaker. She's done a lot of studies on it. And I signed up to that whilst I was on the waiting list for Springboard, which is what I ended up doing and thoroughly enjoyed.
What was the standout in terms of leadership, knowledge, skills, or learning insight that you gained from participating in the imposter syndrome and or Springboard?
A few things, actually. But so I think for years, I attached my accomplishments to chance and being lucky, mainly because of imposter syndrome. Thought I ended up where I am because of I got lucky or I was in the right place at the right time. But one of the things I learned out of imposter syndrome was I should own what I've achieved. I've worked hard to get to where I am, and I should own it. And same thing with the Springboard course as well. And I found that I'm not the only person who goes through this. There's actually quite a lot of us who are struggling with this.
How have you applied that standout in your leadership role and responsibilities?
So I find that the way I coach my mentees is different, and also the way I coach myself is very different. The way I talk to myself, the way I handle myself as a leader is totally different. I'm a lot more confident. I'm not there yet, don't get me wrong. I think it's a work in progress, but I'm a lot more confident in owning my achievements. I'm a lot more confident in even ensuring that my voice is heard. Whereas in the past, if my voice wasn't loud enough, I would just end up being quiet or just going into the shadows. But I've actually, and now if I'm not heard, I make sure that I shout that little bit louder so that my voice is heard, my opinion is heard, and I own my decisions as well.
Yeah, I think that's some advice we could all take on board.
Yeah.
How was the networking and collaborating with other participants?
So with the imposter syndrome course, I so happened to sit on a table with just ladies, and I think we texted for a little bit and then it fizzled out. But with Springboard, maybe because it was a course that ran over a longer period of time, I feel like I've made lifelong friends. We actually have a communication plan that we put together. So whilst we text in between keeping in touch sessions, we've set aside 4 dates in a year where we will get in touch twice in a year virtually and twice in person. We've even planned a weekend away.
That's amazing.
But it's just been so good in terms of you've got like a sounding board, group of women that have become like a sounding board, where it would have been a very lonely space if I was doubting myself. I've got people that I can actually reach out to and say, can you tell me whether I'm being unreasonable here or what? We have people that celebrate each other's successes. So I know a couple of people have gotten new jobs after our session, and they've got like a group of people that they can share with that have seen them grow from not being sure about themselves to actually applying themselves. I was having some challenges at work, but through the empowerment of the ladies on that course, I was able to deal with those challenges and I'm in a much better position. So it's been a really amazing experience.
Oh, that's so great to hear. Lastly, have you recommended Academy Wales leadership programs to other leaders?
I think to so many people. There's probably, if you were to ask, you'll probably have quite a lot of people who've come as a result of my recommendation. I've obviously recommended imposter syndrome to anyone that I've come across who's kind of challenging themselves and questioning themselves. But with everyone that I mentor, especially the ladies, I've because the course is, it is targeted at women. I've recommended Springboard. I've got a number of people that I mentor who are on the waiting list, and I've even recommended it to some of my counterparts as well. And I'm sure you'll have quite a huge waiting list because of me. And for those, having said that, and this is just in Wales, I've even recommended it to some of my friends in England, to the point that some are willing to do like a paid Springboard session because of how much I've said it made a difference in my life.
Oh, that's great. It's so good to hear like the positive impacts it can have. Thank you so much for joining us and sharing your insights and learning. I hope you've enjoyed the experience.
I have. Thank you so much for having me.
Mae un podlediad sgyrsiau ar arweinyddiaeth ar gael trwy ein gwefan. Mae'r hawlfraint y podlediad yma yn cael ei gadw gan Llywodraeth Cymru. Our Conversations on Leadership podcast is available through our website. Copyright of this podcast is held by the Welsh Government.